Lilydale, it is just a beautiful town that has a remarkable history with our museum. It has a remarkable historical society.
It's the best of the rural and a mix of city.
We're very community-minded in Mooroolbark.
This is my 50th year that I've been in the town. When you're part of the community, they're just nice people in this town.
So we still see all our local shops, but then you can see that it is a really new, vibrant station.
The people that use the train every day will be really receiving the benefits of this for many years to come.
It's incredible to see the volume of projects that are coming forward in Melbourne in terms of modernising the infrastructure. Getting rid of level crossings, they're dangerous, they cause congestion. It's fantastic for local communities to see these projects go.
These are hugely important projects for Victoria. Level crossings are removing 85 of these across the network. All the level crossing removal projects bring a whole lot of benefits.
2 years ago, I signed up to the communication about the level crossing removal because I am a commuter that commutes into the CBD every single day. And I thought, I reckon I've got a lot to say about the station and what that might look like. So I put in an application to be part of the community group, and I was accepted and I became a community volunteer.
So I'm involved in the stakeholders committee here. So my involvement has been regular 6-week meetings with all the development aspects and working out how the new station's going to complement our township.
Mooroolbark Traders gives everybody in the town, all the traders, all the businesses, a voice when dealing with councils. My role has just really been simply liaising with them and have really come up with some great ideas of what they can do to be able to keep and encourage people to still keep shopping in the town while this has all been happening.
I'm involved with the Lilydale Township Action Group. We're a group of people that love this community and we just want to advocate for the future and make sure that Lilydale is getting what it needs to get. I actually have to say that I come down here every day on my bike and check it out, take photos, put it on our Facebook group, and it's been a real good journey.
I was very intrigued to see how it would change our area. So I wanted to be part of the process of that change. I felt as a committed community person that I needed to be on that committee. So I did my best to be part of the reference committee, which has been remarkable.
I've been in the community about 10 years and I've seen the community grow. Every year the train gets busier and busier every morning, and by a certain time, you know that the car park is going to be full.
Level crossings are dangerous and they cause congestion, and removing them helps Victorians get home safer and sooner every day.
I mean, we loved our old station. The historic station was beautiful, but it wasn't really functional anymore. It was getting to a point where we needed something different. When it was first announced, there was quite a bit of, intrepidation. Really? They're going to do this in our town?
Well, I was under the impression that it would be another 20, 30 years before Lilydale would get one. But for it to come out of the blue and come so quickly, it came as a surprise.
People were concerned, what's it going to look like? Will it change our township?
We come into these towns and do level crossing removals. Most people have a lot of questions and really want to know what's going to be in their backyard for the rest of their lives. We're here for maybe 1 or 2 years. The project is here for 100 years after us, so it's important that we get that right. So that engagement starts right from day one in the design and then right the whole way through construction, so that we're working with the community as we're building the new infrastructure.
A key to the success of these projects is really understanding the community and the area that we work within, so we're able to design and build and leave behind a project with a lasting legacy.
I was a little bit sceptical when I joined the committee about how much my feedback would be taken on board and really listened to. And I've been really, pleasantly surprised about how much action has been taken.
There was a concern at one stage we were going to have the exit of the multi-level car park coming out onto Bryce Avenue. And we were concerned that potentially could have been 800 cars a day coming through. As you can see, it is busy and that extra amount of cars might not have worked, and being able to voice that and working with the project, and we got it changed so that it came out on Manchester Road. I guess that's something I'll take with me.
There was times when some of the people in that group, struggled with some of the things that were happening, but generally the stakeholders liaison group were listened to, and I thought that was really awesome.
Adam Kickabosh, I'm the Infrastructure Director at Aspect Studios. Listening to the community, understanding their wants and needs is a really key part of informing our design process and not just working off our own assumptions. We don't know their sites like the community does, and it's the little tidbits of information and often some unexpected things that pop out that really give us good fodder as a design team.
There was a couple of things that were really Lilydale based, like we wanted to get some of the bricks from the John Street Bridge laid into this new development.
I can't praise the project group enough for the level of commitment they've put into our town, how they've engaged with all the traders, they've kept everyone in the loop. They've done nothing but keep everybody connected.
We work right through all the different options, unders, overs, all different types of structures and the like. In Mooroolbark, certainly a major benefit here is a multi-storey car park and a new precinct here right in the local shopping precinct, so that we get all that ground plane use for car parking and shared use space below.
For this project I was the area engineering manager, so that was around the design intent, ensuring the concept was met. So we worked with a number of architects on this project. We wanted to ensure that whatever we took away, we replaced with something that was grand and beautiful and that related to the surrounding area.
One of the key things that we looked at was the context of the stations and how they relate back to the urban fringe of Melbourne and the relationship as a gateway out to the Yarra Valley in particular. Reducing reliance on cars and getting people on bikes and walking to these stations was a key driver as well. One thing we drew from that stakeholder reference group was how important the historic stations were to the community, particularly at Mooroolbark. So what we've been able to do is actually find a new purpose for that station building out on the Yarra Valley Trail.
The clock tower is one of the elements that really creates that natural wayfinding and a civic marker. You know, you can just look up and you know that you've actually arrived at the station.
So that's a bit of a nod back to the sort of romantic history of train stations and the clock tower that sits there, but we've done that in a very contemporary way.
These stations, they're not a cookie cutter design. The design is really informed by what the community feedback is.
These stations will look as good in 20 or 30 years as they do today.
So we're actually undertaking an archaeological dig here in the Manchester car park, hoping to discover some artefacts for the old station master's house.
It's really important that we understand what significant artefacts might be here so that we can include those in the project if we can, and also understand from a community perspective what might have been here in the past.
The house was built in 1887 and then continually used up until 1973. We've removed the car park surface and then we get in and excavate to find archaeological remains. So we get in with hand tools and dig around. We're getting timber posts, we're getting pipes, we're getting artefacts. So we've got a lovely little brooch here that's come out of one of the trenches. And we're also starting to get a few things associated with children's toys. So we've had a ceramic doll's head come up. So we're getting signs of women and children living on the site with the station master and his family. The station and the station master's house were some of the earliest buildings in Mooroolbark, so it can tell us about the development of construction in the area as well as the development of the town. So the artefacts we find on site get recorded with their information on where they're found. So we'll give them an initial clean and our artefact specialist then catalogues them so we have a record of what we've found.
The challenge of a project like this is twofold. It's multidisciplinary, so you've got the overhead wiring, the track infrastructure, in addition to a lot of traditional kind of civil engineering type activities. The other part to it is that the time constraint is incredibly critical. We commit very early on in the project life cycle to shutting down the railway and the road for set periods of time. And then, of course, things always go wrong. So then it's about figuring out how to build the project with the extra constraints you didn't know were there. The first thing that we have to do is to construct a 21-metre deep pile, which is a sort of reinforced concrete column that sits in the ground and supports all of the viaduct up above. We've also got to backfill this area with rock that will be taken from local quarries. Once that stone is in place, we lay the new track to get the trains from where they run at the moment up to the new level.
We do a lot of work with local businesses to make sure that we can help them out during construction, but also that they have a voice and are heard, and that their trading can continue the whole way through construction.
Well, basically what we wanted to do is we wanted to give back a little bit to the workers. We basically decided that we were going to open up to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning for them, so that gives them a bit of a hot meal, a good coffee, and they really appreciated it. They were coming in droves and driving us crazy, but we got there in the end.
Been here nearly 2 years, so you get to know the people in the coffee shop that give you your morning coffee. You get to know the people in Coles. People ask us how it's going, and it's nice to have a conversation. There's a real good community feel. Because
of the street closure, the die-hard customers still come and find us, but definitely the tradies. They've been our saviour the last 12 months.
And I think we've learned how to build a bridge ourselves also, because we've asked many questions.
So for me, it's important to be early, to tell people what's going on. If plans change, to say straight away and have an open and honest two-way conversation.
One of the biggest ways we were able to bring the community together was setting up a Facebook page. So we were able to put up designs as they were coming up and people were able to comment. But then if anyone had an issue in real time, they were able to just put it on and get it solved. It's been fantastic. As I saw someone who had a concern and they just put a post on our Facebook page, and it was just about one of the streets where there was a lot of congestion and people finding it hard to cross, and within an hour they had the stop-go people there and just helping people get across the street.
We're certainly measured on how we've engaged with the local traders and the local community. We have to think about the community as if what would happen if it was in our backyard. Social procurement is a huge part of this project and everything we do here on the level crossing removal program. So we're doing all of our shared use path and landscaping now with social enterprises.
So for the Lilydale Mooroolbark level crossing, we're producing 55,000 plants, predominantly native species. Yarraview Nursery is a large social enterprise nursery focused on providing employment, training and support opportunities for people with a disability, growing 3 million plants a year, supplying many retailers, including the majors and many independent retailers, as well as large infrastructure projects, including the level crossing removal projects, which we've done a number of now. Through employment, we're changing lives. Through employment, people are able to live independently, do things that we take for granted sometimes.
This project, it offers a lot of really good engagement with the community.
I'm the director of Yarra Ranges Tech School, which is a partnership between Box Hill Institute and the Department of Education and Training. We've used our 3D printers to print upscale models of the Mooroolbark and Lilydale stations and actually have students work with the designers and engineers and learn about how those projects come together. It was a real opportunity for students, I think, to get a different view on what it means to work in the construction industry. I think a lot of students were surprised there's so much design and creativity elements. So we're really loving bringing on the next generation of professionals that are going to work on these major scale infrastructure projects, on the construction, the design and the implementation of it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And the fact that it's close by, so we can walk the students, we can take the students from here and we were able to walk them down. They could do a tour of the site, they could actually see what was going on.
Here we're building the multi-storey car park for Mooroolbark Station. So this is the first suspended slab pour on the project. This will be the basis of the structure for the car park, and then we'll continue on to the precast structures on the west side of the car park over here.
These L-beams are the first L-beams to be installed at Manchester Road, and they're also the longest L-beams, so they're 30 metres long. This L-beam symbolises to the community the start of the superstructure works happening. We're not far away from removing the level crossing, and we're on track to hit the deadline of having the boom gate gone by Christmas. So we're going to continue with the installation of the crossheads and the L-beams for the rest of the down track over the next 2 months.
Really starting to see the project come together. We're pouring the first of 9 pours of the level 3 slab, which is the top deck of the multi-storey car park. Once we finish through this section, we'll then continue to pour the remainder of this stage all the way up to level 3 and complete the ramp up to this floor. From there, it also allows us to start getting some of our other trades involved.
Today we're looking at the first module of the Mooroolbark Station lift. This lift shaft was manufactured in Geelong. It's a great milestone to have the lift shaft on site. There's a lot of work being going in preparation.
The lift shaft and clock tower is being built offline in a temporary location. So we've got a very big crane coming in to lift these 2 halves, one on top of the other. So first the lift structure will be lifted into position, and then the clock tower will be lifted in and put on top.
One thing that stands out was the old station and the fact that they've moved that, and that was a huge coordination amongst many, many people, and it took many, many months.
All of the viaducts were all precast so that they could be installed 1 span every day. Each of these beams weighs more than 100 tonne. So as you can imagine, some of the lifting equipment is very significant in strength and size. The pressure on the ground exerted by that crane is absolutely huge, and we had to do some very significant earthworks to get ready in order for that crane to lift the big beams, and it has to be built over a number of days. So it took us 2 days to actually physically build this crane.
So today we're removing the boom gates.
The overhead lines are coming down, track will be removed shortly, and that will allow us to get into the main part of constructing the new station, the new viaduct, and getting this whole thing open. We've got a team of 80 people who've been on this project for 18 months, coming forward towards this construction blitz. Every hour, every minute, every detail has been planned, rehearsed, run through, and this is really the culmination of all of that work.
Probably the most exciting stage of a project when you actually do get to open it up and you get people being able to use a brand new station. It's really exciting to see trains running as of today.
The excitement in the community to see their new shiny station and what will be a multi-storey car park here at Mooroolbark. It's a great reward for everybody after everything they've been through here with us over the last couple of years. These 2 stations here at Mooroolbark and Lilydale are an amazing feat. We've actually managed to do an elevated rail over structure, and the first half was actually done while the trains were still running. We've managed to finish that in around 70 days with all of those challenges in amongst it, so it's been a massive effort from the whole team.
The beauty of these modular buildings, as you can see on the external finish, is the stone cladding wall that we have, so a really unique architectural feature. Another benefit we've had on the project is the modular construction we've been able to do for these buildings. So they're prefabricated off-site, brought in trucks and effectively bolted together, so less disruption as we've done that works through construction.
A station is a transient space. People need to move through the station, so through the design elements we also created some natural wayfinding. This skylight, for example, is a natural way of bringing beautiful light into the station, so that encourages people to enter the station. Then as you look across, We've got staircase so that they know how to take their way upstairs to the platform.
When it rains, lovely platform now, so we don't actually get wet in the morning. It's fantastic to see even some of our really big trees that were, needed to be taken down because they were dangerous. They've been taken out to some of the zoos, and now you can see them in the animal enclosures.
Community engagement is absolutely key. If we don't take the community with us, it's really hard to get them to buy into future things. So the journey has to be step by step, and I think that has happened. Most of the community has got right behind it and very excited.
Everyone was looking forward to opening the street up and getting flow through traffic, and getting the view up there is amazing. So lots of people have coming to pick up coffees and snacks and sitting up on the platform, enjoying the view.
You can see the progression to ownership and how much everyone has really loved the change and what it is actually going to do for the local area. It hasn't taken away the Mooroolbark feel, which has been really good. To see it from the very first concept point right through to now where we can actually go up there, get on the train and go, it's amazing.
Very proud of the whole team and the effort of everybody that we've been working with over the last couple of years. I love going past projects that I've built over time. I bring my family here and show them what Dad does. It's an amazing experience.
It's just going to be easier to get around, and I think not getting out of that car park and being stuck for sometimes up to 20 minutes because of the boom gates being down, I'm very excited about it, I have to say. I think it's important for anyone that something that is going to impact your community, that you are able to voice your own opinion and those of others, because I really feel like you can make a difference into the community.
I think it's mind-blowing to be able to be a part of something and know that I can come past with my kids and say, your mum was involved in that, changing the way that the Mooroolbark feel is and having a direct impact. Yeah, I'm very fortunate.
The project's made travelling through Mooroolbark and Lilydale a lot safer for the community. Removing the boom gates that hold up 53,000 vehicles every day on the Maroondah Highway and on Manchester Road is a massive improvement, as well as building new stations that are more open with more lighting and CCTV. The project has also created more cycling and walking connections and more public space. Also some new public art at both of the stations. There's more parking with a new multi-deck car park, providing 450 car spaces. By removing both of these level crossings, it gets us another step closer to having the Lilydale line level crossing free by 2025.